Greetings from Buenos Aires. This is your first energy video from the first week of February 2024. Well, make no mistake, the hidden cyber battle between the US and its adversaries is going on around us every day with potentially enormous stakes for our safety. US officials last Wednesday said they had identified and disrupted a Chinese state-backed initiative to plant malware in civilian infrastructure. FBI Director Chris Wray told House lawmakers that Beijing is preparing to disrupt civil society if the US and China ever go to war. The FBI operation disrupted a botnet consisting of hundreds of small office and home routers that have been hijacked by Chinese hackers to cover their tracks as they planted malware with targets including water treatment plants, the power grid, and transportation systems. Wray commented that we need to increase our effort to protect against cyber threats that affect, quote, every American, and commented, China's hackers are positioning on American infrastructure in preparation to wreak havoc and cause real-world harm to American citizens and communities if or when China decides the time has come to strike. Don't look now, but the long-awaited high-density solid-state battery appears to be here, at least in China. CITIC Securities estimates that Chinese manufacturers already have 10 gigawatt hours of annual production capacity, with over 128 gigawatt hours of additional capacity planned for the medium term around 2025. Initial deployments can be expected this year in high-value applications that are not as price-sensitive as most EVs, such as aerospace, medical, and perhaps some very high-end electric cars boasting excessive ranges. By next year, the storage tech will begin to become more broadly disseminated, eventually finding its way into more EVs, something to watch for. Battery recycling company Redwood announced it has started building its $3.5 billion South Carolina battery materials campus that will eventually yield up to 100 gigawatt hours worth of reclaimed battery materials, with the potential for more expansion if the market warrants. One challenge to recycling thus far has been supply. You need enough aging EVs to supply the used battery product, and up until now, batteries have been lasting longer than initially projected, so there are fewer vehicles aging out. In a few years, as those vehicles do begin to age out, the chicken and egg problem for recycling likely gets solved. With Daimler Truck North America, Navistar and Volvo Group North America together accounting for an estimated 70% of all medium-duty and heavy-duty vehicles sold in the U.S., have formed a coalition to advocate for accelerating the build-out of nationwide infrastructure to support medium and heavy-duty zero-emission trucks. Each of the three companies already has electric models in the market, but says they're being held back by a lack of charging infrastructure. Other founding PAC members include ABB E-Mobility, Burns & McDonnell, Green Lane, JB Hunt Transport, Prologis, and Volterra. Well, in reporting to Texas regulators recently on lessons learned from Winter Storm Uri, an official from the North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, advised that the Texas grid needed to up its game, increasing collaboration between the electric and gas sectors and looking at new ways of providing black start capability. For those unfamiliar with that concept, black start is the ability to jumpstart a completely failed power grid. Small, generally diesel units that sit by larger generators are used to bring this generation back to life as the grid eventually sutures itself. Well, during Uri, an astonishing 82% of the black start units in Texas failed. So if the grid had gone completely dark, thousands of people likely would have perished in the cold and dark days of mid-February. NERC recommends that Texas consider the use of batteries, and there are plenty of those in Texas, to augment its black start capability. The concept of black start and batteries is not new. California's Imperial Irrigation District first demonstrated that batteries could provide black start back in 2017. Get going, Texas. And finally, Germany. It kicked off the entire Western solar industry with its generous feed-in tariffs that achieved its first 1,000 megawatts of rooftop solar already 20 years ago, is now bending the curve on distributed battery installations. It was recently reported that the market in Germany for on-site storage increased 150% last year, with cumulative countrywide storage installations on-site now over 1 million, storing an estimated 12,000 megawatt hours. Hawaii, it seems, is not the only postcard from the future. Well, once again, I apologize for the background construction noise. Argentina is a busy place. And that's all for this week. I look forward to seeing you next week.